Do you feel that in a time when we are more connected than ever, we are drifting away from real human connections, especially to ourselves? I do. Hi, I'm Leticia Latino, and I want to invite you to join me and my very inspiring guests in exploring ways to reconnect to your essence, to your definite purpose, to what makes you tick. Are you ready? Well, hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Back to Basics, Reconnecting to the Essence of You. I have CEO and board member of Celsius Energy Drink with me today, John Fieldley. Hello, John. How you doing?
Excellent. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm very, very excited. I think if we need something these days is energy drinks and things to keep us upbeat and with a smile on our face. So thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Yes, we could all use more energy. That's for sure.
Exactly. So, John, you're in Tampa. I know that. But, we always start the show like asking a little bit of the background. Are you originally from Tampa or are you from somewhere else?
Yeah, no, I was up in upstate New York. I grew up in Tampa area. So, love the Tampa area with the Gulf of Mexico. And the company is based out of South Florida, so in the Boca Raton market. And I moved over here with the family right about 4 years ago. I've been with the company now for 9 years. It's been a great journey and a lot of exciting things. I'm a Floridian, so I love Florida.
That's great. That's always good. So we're both in the same neck of the woods. And so I like to start the journey. So obviously you got to be CEO now. I know you were the CFO before, and a lot of people listening to this. Obviously, that's the goal. How do I get to be CEO? And the challenge and what Back to Basic is really about is, yes, that part of the journey in terms of the business sense, but also I'm sure, what have been the steps that you have taken in terms of also compromise and balancing your life and your family and just to get you there. When you were a kid, I always like to ask us as a kid, did you knew that you were going to go into business? What did you like to do? What were your passions? What did you envision growing into?
Well, I think when I was younger, I wanted to be an astronaut. So pretty close, being close to NASA in Florida, so which was great. But yeah, I've always had a thing for business just growing up and, being in upstate New York, taking the train down to go to New York City when I was a younger kid and with my grandmother taking me down there, and you see Wall Street and the hustle and bustle, and kind of always fascinated with that when I was younger. And I remember taking the tour through the New York Stock Exchange, and just so many things happening on, the energy, the yelling, the excitement, the big buildings. I don't know. I always wanted to be part of that. I always said I wanted to run a company that was a public company. And, you always see the Wall Street Journal as well with those experiences. So, even growing in even high school, I've always kind of interested in the Wall Street Journal and what they're reporting about. A lot of people read about sports, right? And, sports players and teams and the stats behind them. And when you look at businesses, it's really very similar, right? There's stats behind the businesses, what's growing, what segment's growing, what market's growing, what wide receivers faster, what best team or the product, or where is it situated with its, its cap rate on salaries. It's, kind of very similar. And that always really intrigued me. And I think it goes back, my grandfather left me, gifted me when I was younger, a stock from actually it was Ramada Inn stock at the time, which was a hard certificate, and gave that to me. I want to say I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and that intrigued me because after going down to New York, and then you also now have a piece of ownership in Ramada Inn, and I'm not sure if Ramada Inn's still around these days. But, you're an owner in the business and you can own these great companies that are out there. So that got me even more intrigued into public companies and business when I was younger.
Oh, that's fascinating. And so it was clear that that's what you studied. That's your background once you decided to what to study.
Yeah. No, it's funny going through high school and college. I really wasn't too sure exactly what I wanted to do. At the second year in college, I had a professor. I took financial accounting during the summer, and it was interesting. The summer school professor would come in with a boat behind his vehicle, and he'd be wearing fishing gear. And he says he works. He actually, I guess, lived in Miami by you. He would come over to Tampa with his fishing boat, teach accounting, and then go fishing in the afternoon. So I said, well, wow, this guy has a pretty good life. He does taxes on the side, and he teaches people accounting during the summer, and he fishes and has a good time. So I was like, well, this is intriguing. I like financials. I like the accounting. So I went towards the accounting route. To be honest, I don't think I've worked under 60 hours a week since I got into the field. So
no boat in the back of your car.
The back of my car. So unfortunately, but maybe someday.
You visualize the accounting part. Now you have to visualize the boat.
Yeah.
That's part of the back to basics.
Absolutely.
And so you went into accounting, and from there, I know you've been in several different chains, maybe Eckerd's, I read somewhere.
Yeah, no, I've always had it. I've always worked. I washed cars when I was 14 and washed dishes in the kitchens in 15, and saving up money for my car you can drive when you're 16 in Florida. So always been working. I worked at Eckerd Drugs for over 8 years as well, and always try to get better whatever you're doing, try to make it better and get better each and every day. I kind of live by that mantra. Mm-hmm. Whatever you do, try to do it the best you can do it. And always try to help people out. I think that's important. It doesn't matter who it is. Always try to help, right? Help people get better, help people do their jobs better, go through life better. I think that's always been a key component, is always trying to figure out how to optimize. And I don't know if that's just inherent, but it's really important. Also, you always want to help out your manager, right? Going through life, it's what is your boss? How do you make your boss look better? That's been always extremely key. That's a really important lesson. How do you make your boss life's easier, better? When you go into a meeting or speak with your boss, you should understand what are they being benchmarked on, or what are they going to ask, and always anticipate, the questions, which has been key. And I learned that, at a much younger age. I think always having a good mentor is very key as well. Mm-hmm. Mentor key through life, and learn from experience. I think it's. I remember when I graduated college, I had my first job as a staff accountant, and I think it was the second day, and the individual just walked up to me. He was a long-term employee, part of the executive team, and he said, just so you know, you're not here just to do bank recs. We expect you to help us move forward. We expect a lot out of you. We expect you to help grow this business. And a lot of people are happy doing, a task or not taking things to the next level. And, he was pretty blunt when he said that to me as well. And I was like, oh man, I don't know about this guy. But I kind of took it to heart. You need to understand why you're doing the task and how it fits the bigger picture. And then how can you help complete the goals of the bigger picture? And I worked my way all the way up in that organization to be really the CFO, business manager of a division, running a division for them. And it was B2B publishing. It was a consumer publication group, and they're one of the largest B2B publications, like grocery or retail news, shopping news, and the drugstore news, and a variety of different mediums in B2B publishing. So some key learnings there, and you can always learn something from everyone. And the most important is to learn every day. Always.
Yeah, that's I think great advice. And because we have a lot of people. I just recently had a call with someone that I know follows the podcast, someone young that just graduated, and she's she's already done in PR, and she tells me, I think I don't like what I studied. So what should I do? Should I study something else? Should I go into work? And I said, listen, you're never gonna know. We all study something. You don't know where life is gonna take you, but you have to explore. And you have to be open to the opportunities that life will bring you.
That's right.
So I like what you mentioned, because you say, yeah, well, I saw the professor with the boat. This is kind of what took you there. But then now, of course, it's your responsibility of being happy and being fulfilled. So you've climbed the ladder as top as one can climb. And we're definitely going to talk about the drink. I'm very curious. I know your company is doing great things. So how did it feel when you got to see? Did you feel different when you were named CEO? It's like, did you feel, wow, did you doubt yourself? Or were you like, yes, this is finally where I want to be?
Well, it's when you become, you're always proving. I have a managers, I have a board of directors I report to, I have shareholders I report to. So you're really no different. It's not really, I'm in charge of a team. I have my leadership team, but I'm not the ultimate boss. I have shareholders. I have a board of directors that expect extremely high things out of the company and out of what I need to deliver. So, I'm very fortunate on my career path and where I've come, but it's you got to deliver. So the seat is very hot. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pressure, just like in any role, and the key is to perform. So I don't really think about it like that. I just try to continue to move this company forward to be the best we can be the most efficient, and build this company to be the largest it can and capable of in the category. And we have a really good position as a functional, healthy, better for you energy drink, which tastes great. And we know we can be number one in the category. We're going up against the biggest CPG brands in the world. That's a small independent company. So it's very fun. It's a challenge. Not many people organizations are able to accomplish that. But in regards to becoming the CEO, I was very gracious for the board to give me the opportunity. And quite frankly, I'm not going to let them down. So, the expectations are high, and I'm going to do everything I can to deliver on what I promised.
That's great. And you run an energy drink company. So whenever you have to work really hard, you can just keep shooting your own drink. That comes in handy. I can think of a few jobs I had that having one of those handy would have been good.
Absolutely. Lots of energy at the Celsius headquarters. That's for sure. So,
yeah. So I get it. You're in that position where, some people are, and I've been there, where you have to deliver. You've been given this big task. And at this point in your life, most likely work is a priority. I'm sure your wife and your kids understand that he's been given a huge job. Now I have to be there and do it, right? But I'm sure that comes at a price at home, where you have to at some time say, listen, guys, I have to work. And because I know in my own house, my kids say, you're always on the computer, or daddy's working again. And so you try to balance, because you don't want your kids to say that, and time flies. Tell me how you deal with that. Does it make you feel a little guilty sometimes? Or how do you balance out?
Yeah, that's the family balance, work-life balance is critical. Yes, there's a lot of late nights. There's a lot of hours. I unfortunately do miss some things, but I try to make it very meaningful when I can, and I try to be there for my children. I have 2 children. I have a wife. She's a school teacher as well, and her job is just as demanding. But we make sure we have a work-life balance. It's on the weekends. I shut down on Sundays, make it a point not to get on email, or hopefully don't need to take a business call. So try to put my full attention on my family. And Saturdays, try to have fun with them. Obviously, things come up and you have to work some Saturdays, but I at least try to do one day a week. We're really dedicated to the family and having some fun and spending time together. And I still make time to, do homework with my daughter or my son. So I think that's really critical as well. And trying to keep teach them the same, the goals and the importance of, always trying your best, constantly improving, and most importantly, practicing, which is key.
That's great. And I'm sure that also this whole work balance is just exponentially increased. The difficulty has increased exponentially because of COVID, right? Like we had now deal not only of the business demands, which I'm sure that you felt, but also in your team and the way we're working and how you've had to adjust. So can you share a bit of how you've had to adjust your operations due to this whole craziness?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's been affected. You're absolutely right. And it's, I think everyone in the world has worked so much harder than they ever have. I mean, working a full-time job, turning into your instructor and teacher for your children, to the craziness and uncertainty, to all of the unusual things that happened over the last 6 months. It's tough. And as a business, you really need to make sure you're there for your people. We put at home, during when we were going through the variety of phases, extra precautions, working with employees very delicately as well. We're starting to bring some employees back, but it's at their will. So the office is open. We have about 50% capacity right now. We've gotten a lot better working at home. I think the good news is as a corporation in South Florida, we always have to be ready to run for the hills when hurricanes come. So I spoke with a lot of other businesses that didn't have the back end, like their emails aren't the computers aren't able to be worked remotely or VPN in, and a lot of servers weren't set up properly where you could access them anywhere. So we've implemented those systems because we live in Hurricane Alley. And I remember when the COVID hit, we took our hurricane disaster recovery plan, SOP, and we kind of just put COVID disaster recovery plan and processes and brought everyone together. Like, listen, we're going to have to prepare to everyone to work remotely, got checks and balances. We went through that with the leadership team and worked with the rest of the management teams and implemented that so all employees could work from home. And it was pretty seamless. It's more to be honest with you, it's more the personal at-home work life that's been more of a challenge for our employees. And there's something to be said about working at the office where you kind of leave the office behind. And unfortunately, when you're working at home, work turns into 24 hours a day. So that's a real challenge. I don't think that's really good for mental health either. It's important that people are able to take a break from that and have that separation from at work and home. I think that's a really important. I know there's some employees that were live upstate, and they, set their offices in their basements. So they actually get dressed and like they were going in the office, but then they go around the house and then downstairs. And then when they come out, they go out and then they go around and come inside just to have that separation that you need. And everyone had to kind of do it a little bit different that ever worked in their, the best way they can function during these times.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's a whole rewiring of your brain, right? Like I haven't been in my office. Last week was the first time I started working back because our kids are going back to school here in Miami. And I never thought I would say I miss my office. I get here and I say, oh my God, this is so good. And we have a newfound appreciation, because working from home has other things that are also good. As a as a housewife and a mom, I can cook a little bit while I'm working, and you can really multitask efficiently. But at the same time, there's something to be said to missing your regular environment. And I think it's even, you can tell it with kids too, like they are enjoying going back to school. You never thought that they would say, oh, I want to go back to school. And now that's what they're saying.
My kids went back to school and they're so excited to be back in school. It's so important. The distance learning stuff, even running a business, distant learning, like the unprompt meetings, especially when you're a nimble business or a small business, it's so competitive. And you really need to have, be on one step ahead of the competition. And the impromptu meetings that take place within an organization are so valuable. The Zoom conversations we've had, we've all had way too many Zoom meetings or Teams. They're all very structured, right? So it's really hard to have a conversation that you would in a natural dialogue. It's just you seem to lose a little bit of that creativity because it's more of a structured environment. Mm-hmm. That puts you at a little bit of disadvantage, that I feel. So, but we're working through it as we all do.
That's great. That's great. So, tell me, I'm going to give you an open mic about, what's exciting, what's coming exciting about your Celsius and the energy drink. And I know as a new and upcoming, I want my audience to get to know about the drink and to try it out. What can you share?
No, absolutely. It's so much exciting news going on at Celsius. It's, the energy drink category is under disruption. So, Red Bull and Monster were kind of cool yesterday, not really too cool today. It's all about the ingredients. It's about functionality. It's about health and wellness. That's what really is you're seeing a lot. You saw this with the clothing business as well, right? With the leisure wear grow. You're seeing this in the protein category, protein yogurt, protein snacks. The energy drink category is under disruption. And it's all about, better ingredients, more functionality, and, the brand positioning around an active lifestyle is what everyone wants to, is where really the category evolution is taking place. So Celsius is authentic, been around for over 10 years, very much embedded at Vitamin Shop and GNC and Golds and the fitness community. But over the years, we've expanded more broadly. And today we're available in over 75,000 locations across the country. The product is a great tasting product. It's got green tea. It's all got green tea and biotin and chromium, 7 essential vitamins. And then it also is a thermogenic. It actually burns calories and body fat. It's all backed by science. And all done right here in South Florida and actually the Boca Raton market. Not only did they invent great Celsius here, an amazing energy drink, also the first PC was created here by IBM, which is quite fascinating of everything that happens. But South Florida is an incubation of sports nutrition. And sports nutrition is getting more mainstream today than ever before. And it's allowing brands like Celsius to go mainstream. And it's great tasting. It's got no sugar, no preservatives, no artificial colors. And you get a great experience because you don't get the immediate spike or the crash or the jitters on the product. And you get a great, it tastes great, feels great. So we've been doing really well as an organization. And we are well positioned to capitalize on the changes taking place in the energy drink category. You see these categories evolve every so many years and decades. It takes decades around, but it's really important we stay on the top of consumer mindsets and trends. And health and wellness is a trend that's going to continue for centuries to come. That's not going away. If you look at traditional energy, it was all about jumping through flaming hoops or bahaing across the desert or drag racing down the strip. And energy drinks are really about performance. It's your own personal performance, getting ready for the next set at the gym or the next meeting or the afternoon or picking up your kids from school. So, and that's what we're all about. It's Celsius Live Fit, live a healthy, active lifestyle, live life to the fullest.
Wow, I feel like I need to do a good closing on that one. But what I'm thinking as you're speaking, it's, you have a great opportunity because I think what COVID has given us also, it's disrupted. It's disrupted our lives. So now as we're coming out of our shells and our homes and all that, we see everything with brand new eyes. So you have can position, the new normal through a new energy drink. It's like people are like resetting their mind, and I think that's an opportunity for it. So I definitely will try it and will be your ambassador for the drink. And just to close, John, I take off the CEO hat for a moment, and you have had a stress when you get home, or after stressful times, and you have to just connect to John. Where do you go? What makes you tick? What is it that you do that you say, aha, this is what I'm about. This is what I enjoy. This reminds me of who I am. Is there anything that you can share?
Yeah, I'm a family guy. I love spending time with my kids, my wife. That's what I love that's what it's all about, right? It's about providing for your family, spending time with them, helping them. The road ahead in life is challenging, as we all know, and ups and downs come, and just being there to support them. And yeah, I mean, that's really what it's about, and that makes me happy. You know?
Well, it definitely, I think it's undisputable that family is a great back to basics. So, so thanks, John, for your time. We will definitely include all the good info about Celsius, and you have here a supporting group at Back to Basics.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Take care.